I'm Dayna J. Francois, and you're listening to Stirring the Plot. Whether you're gay, hot, or doing it for the plot, this is the podcast for you. We're here, we're queer, we're gay, and we slay. We're just a feminine them. Please welcome our guest, Winter 365.
Hey.
What is up? How do you feel?
I feel enlightened.
Okay.
We had a really good discussion that we should have recorded the entire time.
Probably.
but here we are. Yeah.
It was just for us. Crazy.
Doing it for the plot.
There we go. But yeah, no, I'm really excited to have you on. For those of you who are just now joining the podcast, or those of you who are coming from the damn podcast, I'm really excited to be able to be in this space where I can bring on some really cool people and share some piping hot tea.
Hey,
you
okay.
know?
All right.
Why not? So Winter, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Tell everybody about you.
So my name is Winter, or Young Win, as the streets know me. I'm a certified MASC, short king, big heart, Sagittarius.
Okay.
Do we need the whole Tinder bio? No couples, no guys.
You can find me at
Winter Rosay on Instagram.
That's right. Plug it. DMs are open. Right. So Winter, we have like a lot to unpack, I think.
We do.
There's like so many questions, so little time. So let's just jump into
Let's
it.
get
right?
started.
Period. I think the number one thing that we do need to address is the MASC shortage.
Oh,
Is it true? Is it the new normal? Is it life as we know it? Where are all the masks?
It's absolutely fucking true. Okay, so that should be the headliner. Absolutely true.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, everyone. But the thing is, it's true, but is the demand there?
Okay.
What do you think as a femme? Is there a demand for us masks?
I feel like there is a romanticization and glorification of masks. I feel like you need to put some respect on their name because I definitely think that it's a lot of in theory type of situation.
Okay.
It's a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of discourse on social media, on TikTok, on Twitter. I see it all with the masks and the butch and the stem, where it's like, it got a lot of people in the comments talking about like, need to put some respect on the butch's name. Like they led, like there's no femmes without butches, you know?
So they're like the George Washingtons of like masks, essentially.
I mean, they are the founding fathers.
They're the founding, yeah. On the Mount Rushmore of queerness. They're up there. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think we need to put some respect on their name.
We do, but here's the thing. I hate personally being called a butch. And here's the thing. I don't feel like I meet the criteria to be a butch. So
let's unpack that.
Right. So like for me, when I think of a butch, I think of, someone who I would say would wear like flannels that are like ripped up on the side. Yeah. They have like, on Rugrats, the twins, like that haircut, right? It's like shaved on the side and that one like, that little poof on the side. What is it called? The little thing. Mm-hmm, the little thingy. The little alfalfa. Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think of someone who drives trucks. They love mud racing. They can open up the pickle jar and like just using their pinky. Like for me, I'm not built like that. Like I'm gonna fail not once, twice. So I'll probably have to like hit it against the table, the pickle jar, right? Fail and then do that again, and then it will open. Right. But I'm committed to.
Will it open? Like, will you open it, or will I, as a femme, open it?
So no, I would open it for the femme. It's just gonna take multiple times. So yeah, you're gonna stand next to me, watching failure after failure, but it shows that commitment of I'm gonna let you get your pickles. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll take care of you. It's gonna take a couple of times, a little bit.
That's life, right?
That is. We learn through our failures, right? Like, that's growth,
what
right
a metaphor. Write a poem about it.
We gonna fail a couple times, baby girl. But after that last hit to the table, that lid's gonna open up. Mm-hmm. You gonna get
like
your pickles.
Me to you.
There we go.
Metaphor.
Oh my god, get those snaps going.
Damn, I'm fucking dead. That's crazy, but very valid and true.
Right. Or someone that's older than 30. I would think is like a butch.
Oh my god, I'm fucking dead. Can we unpack a little bit about, let's talk butch versus dyke.
Okay.
Let's see how you perceive that.
This is a good question. I actually feel like dyke can go for people outside of just masks.
Okay.
Like, I don't think of it just like masculine women would be considered dyke. I think of someone with rainbow glasses would consider themselves a raging dyke.
100%.
Right?
Yeah, those quirky queers.
Right.
They're such dykes.
The QQs?
Yeah.
The
QQs?
The QQs.
I'm coining that. Those quirky queers.
Well, what do you think? Like, do you feel that there is a difference between like a dyke and a butch, or like how do you see it as a femme?
I don't see a difference. I see dyke as an umbrella term that so many like queer women or identifying people can resonate with, identify with the dyke umbrella. There was for so long like a negative connotation with dyke, and I feel like it's being reclaimed, and it's kind of now like a goal. Like, yeah, you want to be a dyke.
Dyke out, yeah.
Dyke out. Like, you know? But like, no, I definitely love that we're changing the narrative. And I think a lot of people within the queer space is doing that now with like certain terms, reclaiming them and bringing power back to them. I feel like for me, this is just an example, like even like lesbian, for so long there was like such a negative connotation with it.
Yeah, that's true.
And like even still on social media, like some people won't even say lesbian. Like they'll be like lesbian or like some, you know, some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, why are we not like, fuck yeah, lesbian? Like, you
right.
know? And I think for me, for a long time, I had a really hard time identifying with that term. But now I'm like, yes, fucking right on my forehead. Like, you know, embrace that shit.
Yeah.
I love the word lesbian, you know? And I think that's a lot with dyke too. So I don't think it just has to be exclusive to butches or mass or androgynous people. Like, I feel like it's very much like the goal.
Okay. Well, is there like verbiage that we say in the queer community, or that maybe even straight people say, that gives you like, ugh, don't say that?
Like such a major ick.
Yeah.
Yeah, lesbo.
Yeah, that one's
lesbo.
Like, what do you think of when someone's like, oh, that fucking lesbo? Like, what kind of person is saying that? Like, what do you envision?
I'm envisioning the biggest homophobe I've ever like fucking imagined. Yeah, it's so icky. I feel like within the queer community with lesbians, like there can be a joke like between us, like that we can say it, but like still, like what if we said something else? You know, it was like that kind of thing. And I think with outside perspective, like outside people, especially straight people, I can't look at it any other way than having like a negative connotation and sounding so negative and sounding like an insult. Like I don't think I could ever hear a straight person, especially like a straight woman, I think,
right,
like refer to like me and like a group of queer people like as lesbos. I'm like, okay, why do you want us fucking dead?
Right,
you know?
Right, yeah.
So yeah, I would look around and be like, am I about to get jumped?
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's funny because like for me, when I hear the word lesbo, I think of like a 13-year-old kid who, because his 15-year-old sister doesn't have a boyfriend, he's calling her a fucking lesbo.
Yeah.
Or because she listens to Billie Eilish, a lesbo.
Because she listens to Chapel Roan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's lesbo music, right? Like that's kind of like what...
That's what it's giving. Very immature, like, demeaning.
Right.
Yeah. Not cute.
No, like he probably has braces. His balls have not dropped yet.
No, they haven't. I'm done. No, I totally agree. It seems very juvenile and childish. So yeah, I definitely agree. Are there any other terms such as that give you the same kind of ick factor?
Oh, maybe like, I mean, I jokingly say homosexual, but when like a straight person says the homosexuals, like, ugh.
Yeah. No.
It makes me like nauseous just thinking about it. Like if it's a straight person, absolutely not. If it's a gay person saying it like ironically, I'm okay with it.
For sure.
It depends on the source.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way about that word?
Definitely. Yeah. It just feels, it's just like, why are you saying all that?
Right.
And like even shortened, it's like the same vibe. Like you
homo. Oh, that's another one.
Like homo.
Yo, you fucking homo. Like,
okay. Yeah. I am. Like I literally am.
And I feel like they use it in a way that doesn't even make sense.
No, literally.
It is like, you shop at Trader Joe's, you fucking homo. And I'm like
you also shop at Trader Joe's.
Right. I'm like, you're right behind me in line.
I stole that parking spot from you and you're mad. That's why you're calling me a homo. The fuck? Like crazy. Like don't lie. It's crazy. And it sounds as stupid as if you were to say to like a straight person, hetero, like just shouting that, you know, is crazy.
That's actually a good point. I didn't think about it like that. That's so true. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride. Like, scissor your friends.
Yes.
Why not?
forget the strap. The essentials.
Yes.
Bring that backpack. Can we talk about that though for a second? Like,
I'm dead.
the steps, the commitment that goes into, you know, us bringing the strap over.
For real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you see the backpack, and then the whole process of like unzipping the backpack, taking it out, and then putting it on.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you gotta like adjust it a little bit more, so you're like staring at that person.
And have you already done like foreplay? Like, is the other person?
Oh, see, that's another.
You know?
Yeah.
Is she laying there?
Right.
Is she ready?
That's the thing though. Like, are you flirting with her as you're putting the strap on?
Yeah.
Or
are you in the bathroom with the door shut and they're like awkwardly in bed waiting?
Okay, I'll be honest. I was definitely sometimes. I'm almost done. Just the moment.
Can you actually give me a hand?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to like kind of tie the back a little bit. It's like lopsided a little bit.
Lopsided.
Yeah, right. But I feel like that could be a beautiful moment, right? Like
it's
vulnerable.
It's what
right.
makes a relationship, right?
So, I mean, have you been in a predicament like that where, you know, the mask's in the bathroom, you're in the bed, or like, has it always just been kind of like whips it out and
it's
ready to go?
Been seamless execution. Never is a seamless execution.
Yeah, it takes time.
It takes time.
Right.
It really does. I have been in the predicament. I've been there ready.
You know?
And it's like, okay, well, there's a bit of a draft. Like,
right.
Like,
you feel a little bit of
like fans
the
on
fan,
like,
right?
Do I pull the covers up? Like, you know,
are we closing our legs in that moment?
Like, I was like, oh, are we? So that part's finished, right? Okay, and now we're okay. You're going to the bathroom now, right? Okay, do I check my phone? No, that's rude. Like,
see that, and that's true. So, what are you doing? Are you twiddling your thumbs?
Exactly.
Are
you thinking like?
Are you
practicing lines?
Oh my gosh! Are you lighting up the candles?
Okay.
You know, like I think at that point,
sprinkling the rose petals,
right?
And then they walk out and they're like, "This wasn't here before,"
right?
And then you're caught, or are you just like uncross legs, distract them?
Right. I think we do that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they'll forget about everything.
For sure.
So
yeah. Have you done the whole roses candlelight whole shebang?
Candles, but not roses.
Okay.
I've always wanted to do roses. I'm just nervous. What if that person has a reaction to it?
Okay.
Right? Like I don't know. I guess I'll have to try it to let you know. Like, have you done it before?
I haven't done roses either. I've done candles.
It's a lot of work though.
Yeah.
Like,
the candles?
Or no, the roses.
The roses,
I guess both.
The candles are kind of a lot of work. And
do you do like a match, or do you actually do like the candle? What is it called? The candle lighter?
Or the long
one that like does its thing.
I definitely do the long one.
The long one. Yeah. Okay. So how do we feel about like the matches?
This match set is just more aesthetic than functional.
Right. Right. Exactly. Because it's the noise. Like, you know what I mean? That really gets
Damn it, I burn myself.
Right. But you can't let the other person know that.
Yeah.
So do we fill it in with conversation? Are we doing like a temperature check? Like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
How do you...
It is currently 118 degrees out too, even though the sun is gone, and you're lighting probably 60 candles in my house. I'm dripping with sweat at this point, but like, it's so hot. I've never wanted you more. Is that like the vibe?
But yes.
I'll commit to the bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, that person's so far gone. Imagine, you know, bare ass with the strap, lighting up the match.
Like, at that point, it's like, thank you for your service. Right?
Like, exactly.
At that point, it's really like, I never wanted you more. Like, no, like, please, I've never wanted you more. Like, let's get it started. Let's go
right
now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, can we blow these out?
Exactly. Yeah. And then the time it takes to blow all those out.
And then blowing them out.
Right.
And then it's like, like,
right. Is it like after everything we split up, you blow out that side, I blow out this side? Or
yeah. And then do I say, babe, your Uber's here? Like,
yeah, it's like, when do we bring that up?
Yeah. Like, do you take the candles with you? Because I don't need that many in my house.
Right.
Right.
And I guess you can have that conversation as they're putting the strap away.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
They're putting it away now. Is their ass still out?
Their ass is still out. Okay. But they're putting the essentials back in the bag.
Thank God. Thank God. And I do have mirrors as closet doors, so it won't make it more awkward.
Well, how do we feel about music during?
Honestly, I think it's better than the alternative, which is
it's like just silence. You hear the washer in the background.
My question to you, have you ever fucked in literal silence?
In silence? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I feel like it's awkward. Like you're hearing each other kind of struggle a little bit. You know what I mean? The aggressive breathing. I mean, sometimes that could be hot, but like in certain moments, you're like, damn, you okay?
Like, do you need an inhaler right now? Like, are you good? Damn, shawty. Yeah.
Are you the same way though with like the silence?
Yeah. There's only been one situation ever where it was like complete silence and also the lights were on. And
oh god.
Yeah, it was like double-edged sword.
Sheesh.
That was the most awkward ever. But like one thing about me,
you're not gonna give up. Salute to the troops.
I will commit to that bet. Lights on, okay.
Dang.
No music, okay.
Oh, okay.
It's happening now. Shit, it's happening now.
She built different.
But then after the fact, literally immediately after the fact, I'll be like, oh my fucking god,
this just happened,
and it's still silent.
No. Oh my god.
So that was a time for sure, and now I'm very much like, I don't even care if it's weird. Immediately music's coming on, like, you know, movies playing, like something. I need something, you know.
Wait, so it was like absolutely quiet, like there's not even, how you doing, girl? Like,
let me
nothing?
paint this scene for you, okay?
Oh god.
So we're downstairs, we're watching a movie, and then we're not watching a movie, and it starts downstairs, but then it's the typical, should we go upstairs?
Okay.
We should.
Yeah.
So we do. Am I to get my phone and play the music as we're stumbling up the stairs?
Right. You're distracted.
No, I didn't even have my phone.
Right.
It was downstairs.
Okay.
We get upstairs, we get to my room. For some reason, the lights are already on, which they shouldn't.
No.
Electricity.
Never.
Bill, you know?
Yeah.
Lights are already on upstairs. She left them on. She must have.
And this is the big light.
The big main light.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The big bright fan light
Sheesh.
is on.
Oh
Not
my
even
God.
no mood
Nothing.
lighting, no LEDs, nothing. Like, it's
Straight up.
the fan. Lights are on. No music's playing. And suddenly you're being pushed on the bed. Like, it's down. Like, it's time. Like,
Is the bed at least making noise? Like, or is it just like, it's even like one of those foam ones where it's like,
I will admit my bed doesn't squeak.
okay, so it's
Which is like, my bed doesn't squeak.
okay.
I'm just
All
saying.
right.
Whatever.
What brand do you use? Because mine should be like, I should be talking. Mine should have blabbermouth.
Blabbermouth is crazy. Squeak, squeak, motherfucker, whatever they say. I'm dead as fuck. That's funny as hell. No, mine does not talk.
No.
But sometimes that's unfortunate when there is silence.
Right.
Right.
Because we can't fight against that. It's,
Exactly.
Yeah. Was there moaning though? Was there any sort of
Yeah.
was it like
moaning and like, this is hot, and we're breathing and we're like saying words and all this kind of stuff. But also it's like there's nothing to drown that out also. So it's very much like, I'm hearing all of this.
right.
It just feels like, I wish I wasn't there, but I was. I felt like I was having like out of body experience. Like I was watching this happen, you know? And I was just like, ooh, girl, sweetie, like,
Girl, get
what
out.
if you just
Yeah.
what if you just turned off the lights? Like, imagine like just turning off the lights now.
Like easily. Just
Yeah.
Bam.
Like, what if like instead of like being between your legs right now,
right.
you got up and you turned the lights off? Imagine
It takes a second.
a second.
Right. Sure,
Flip
you'll
that
see
switch.
someone's ass, but you
But it's
know,
okay.
It's fine.
Like right now,
Yeah.
she can see everything.
No, that's true. That's
So I would take it. At this point, I would take it, you know?
right.
So that was something that happened to me one time.
Wow. So, okay, let's revisit this real quick. So, let's say this event happens in this day and age with what you know now. How would we combat that awkward silence? Are we bringing that phone now? Are we hitting the lights real quick? What are we doing in this situation to overcome it?
I feel like in that situation, looking back, it was very much, let's do this rush fast. Let's go. It's like, I need you now kind of thing.
Okay.
It was one of those moments, right?
Mm.
Period.
Yep.
And it was like, fuck everything else. Like, I need you right now. But now looking back, I'd be like, I do. But like, also, maybe let me set the mood.
Right.
It's like, we need it.
We need a little bit of a vibe.
We need to set
Right.
the mood. So
For sure.
I'm going to press pause,
Mm-hmm.
set the mood,
Mm-hmm.
press play real quick. Don't be down. Like, you know, like shit. Don't be like,
We'll go back to that.
You know, like, it's okay after I turn off the lights and play the playlist that I have expertly curated. Like, you know, expertly curated when to waste that night. Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
we're not doing that.
Okay. So now you know.
Yeah.
And how we can overcome that
Exactly.
situation.
Especially, too, this is another thing, in being in like a shared space environment,
Mm.
where you also live with like another person. Music's vital.
Oh, 100%.
You know, it's respectful.
Right.
It's
Right.
It's good
Be
for everyone.
considerate.
Everyone wins.
Right.
So play the music. I
Mhm.
didn't. Fucking bitch.
Okay, but what if with like music, okay, what if they are playing music, but it's classical or it's Little John, Fast and Furious type of playlist in the background?
Right.
Is it better to have that than silence, or are we wanting to go back to the silence?
I think silence is so awkward, but like I probably would take it. You're playing classical music right now? Baby, I'm dry.
Right.
I'm dry as the desert right now.
But the thing is, what if they like, use their tongue as that like composer? You know what I mean? How they do that with like the classical music.
So you're
like,
into that?
I'm just saying, I know someone who's into that.
But like, what if like
what if like super specific?
Okay, but like, what if like one time?
Not related to me at all. Like
literally someone that I don't even know.
I have no idea.
No,
like
this is just.
I think I saw it on Reddit one time. I'm fucking sad. It has no connection with me. I want to clarify.
I would never do that.
No, that's weird.
Ew. Classical music, composing with the tongue.
Right. Could we be open to that being maybe hot?
Like, is this like so important to my partner and this really turns them on?
Yeah, because they used to have a dream of being like a professional composer.
That's very vulnerable of them.
Yeah.
So like then in that case I would be like, okay. But in my head, I could eat that girl for lunch. That's playing in my head. Like, you might be listening to fucking Beethoven or whatever, Mozart or whatever the fuck. But like in my head, Billy,
playing your own.
I'll replay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'll try to do that.
You have your own playlist in your mind.
Trying. As best I can.
Have you been in that predicament where like someone played music but it just didn't match the vibe?
100%.
Yeah.
That was a situation where I kind of just had to ignore it. I think that definitely plays a big like factor in like your experience with them, because like I wasn't like, I didn't feel like, looking back, felt awkward. Like it felt like I was like, oh, okay, did she go to where she needed to go? Like no she didn't. Probably because fucking Justin Timberlake was playing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
which Justin Timberlake song, by the way?
I'm dead. Have you seen the meme of him going around?
Yeah. And going back to the strap real quick, as like a femme,
right?
Does size matter?
I think size doesn't fully matter. I think it's like what you can do with that.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Do you know how to work it?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
That's fair.
Have you ever, I guess you've never been strapped, or have you?
Hell no.
I'm fucking
no disrespect to anyone who likes that, but
okay.
I feel like my survival mode kicks in.
You're like, I'm fighting.
I'm WWE this bitch, Rey Mysterio with my short king ass. Put that shit back in my backpack, like where it belongs in this situation. Yeah. No.
You must be kidding.
I think I'd be terrified.
So no strap in the ass, nothing like that.
Absolutely not. No, hell no. Not in that. I'm like Cat Williams. We got virgin holes out here in the back.
Please, I'm crying.
Have you
strap in the ass?
No, have you used the strap to?
I've strapped.
Okay, you strapped before.
Mm-hmm.
How did you like that better, or did you prefer receiving?
I preferred receiving, but like I will admit, like having a moment where it was like, okay, look at me,
a little empowering moment.
But yeah, I was like, fuck yeah, like it was a fucking powerful like moment or whatever. But definitely it being like, I'm a strap like all the time. I'm gonna pull that shit out.
No.
Like,
okay, fair.
I don't know. But like when you're exploring sexually and you're doing things and like, incorporating toys and all that kind of stuff, like what do your take on like incorporating toys and everything?
I think I need to get more familiar with it, to be honest. I don't know. I used to be one of those like prideful people that's like, I don't need those. But it's okay. Yeah. Like it's totally fine.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just not super experienced with them specifically.
Okay.
Are you pretty experienced with?
To an extent. Like
yeah.
To an
extent,
amount.
a reasonable amount. Like, okay, no, and hey, that's good. Yeah,
I do have some experience with toys. I think toys can be fun. I think it takes being comfortable with someone sexually to feel like you can do that, because it is vulnerable in a way, and you definitely want to be comfortable and familiar with. Like, you're not gonna just whip out some shit with like a fucking sneaky link, like hook up on the first Tinder swipe, like that's crazy,
right? And especially if it's your first time using it, you're like, whoa,
exactly.
Oh shit, I forgot the batteries. Now you gotta go walk your bare ass to the fridge to get some batteries.
You're pulling it out of the delivery package. It's like, you didn't even clean that shit. I was supposed to clean it.
Straight from the Amazon box.
Can I do Lysol? Like, I got some spray. What about your hand sanitizer from Trader Joe's? Can I borrow that? Like, on the road.
Yeah.
like, you know, like, definitely take some time to build that. But I think that they can be really fun, and it's just a fun way to keep things interesting and spice things up. Sometimes it's not like a like every time we're fucking type of thing, but it's like, you know, sometimes spice
here
it
and
up
there
and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I explored because there's like the toys, and then there's like little fun things like fuzzy cuffs and just
Right.
like all that kind of stuff. So I've never really experienced too much with that.
Not really with that, but it's not that I wouldn't be open to.
Okay.
I think role playing is super cool.
Okay.
Like,
cool.
I really get lost in these characters.
You said I create
a backstory.
There you go.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
it's unnecessary, but I definitely
I think
create
it's
the back-
necessary.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like it gets really specific. It goes like back to like childhood.
No.
Why is this fireman talking about his time in Pennsylvania, you know, trying to overcome
Exactly.
dyslexia?
And if he didn't overcome that, like, you wouldn't
Where
be
would
here.
he be?
He wouldn't be here.
Right.
With the strap.
Exactly.
Like, none of that would have happened.
Exactly.
Because he couldn't even read strap. That's so stupid. That was dumb.
That was bad.
That was brutal.
tomato.
I'm fucking dead. That was the time I found out I had dyslexia. You go, Bella. Oh my god.
How do you feel though about like role playing? Is it something you welcome? Does it depend on the person?
I think definitely depends on the person. Comfortability for sure. Like if you feel comfortable with them, I think it's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so fun to explore that. And I think too, like me being like a little creative, why not? Let's get creative. Let's see what up. Especially like incorporating even too, like sometimes incorporating toys or incorporating like a little costume or something like that. Like why not? Spice it up.
Yeah.
Have fun. I think that's what is super vital to like a healthy relationship, is to be able to have fun and explore yourself like in your sexual relationship too. So I think so.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
Yeah.
But would it be the type of role playing where it's just at your guys' place, or are we doing like a bar scene, right? Like walking up, like what's a girl like you doing in a place like this type of storyline?
We don't know each other.
Right. I find that kind of hot.
I love
right?
That. No, I love that. Like out in public, and it's like, because for me, like I love a build up. Are you kidding? That's so fun. And so like, yeah, take me to the speakeasy.
Yeah.
Act like you don't know me. Hit on me. What do you mean? Yeah, I think that's so fun. And I think it's really hot to pretend like you're in on a secret and like no one else knows.
Right.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like a little thing between you guys. Like, definitely.
Oh no, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I think even outside of the bedroom, like that would be pretty hot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious with like MASC and femme dynamics, right?
Okay. Yeah.
What are some things that you wish you could understand that MASC do, or maybe current like notions that femmes feel that MASC are that you're like, I'm not sure that's entirely true?
Okay. I think that a lot of the time there's like this discourse about gender roles when it comes to MASC and femmes, because it's like outwardly presenting as like gendered roles. Like you are the man of the relationship, you are the woman of the relationship. But it's like, I feel like it's not like a man or woman kind of thing. It's just two people in a relationship.
Right.
It's two people showing each other like what I can do for you. And that's like something I wonder is like, if I'm seeing a MASC and like I like to do little things, I think I'm the type of person where it's like that's one of my love languages is the acts of service or doing something for like someone else. And so it's like, could I got you this because I was thinking of you, and it's flowers. Like, is that okay? Like, can I give that to a MASC? Like they're gonna kick their little feet about it? Yeah, I think so. You can act tough, but I know you're little. You know, little feet. Like you're kicking your little feet. Like I know you are. Or like for me, like I'm a plant girly, so if like say I propagated this for you. Here's a little propagation. Like, stop. You love it, right? You know? And then it's one of those things where they're just like, oh, I don't care. Like, or that's sweet, but like, what if instead, like, I bought you flowers every time? You know, I'm gonna pick up this bill. Like, I'm gonna take care of you. You know, it's like, I can take care of you too. And I think that comes in with my like power femme dynamic a little bit, where it's like, I might be like femme, but like, I want to take care of you. I want to do things for you. I want to show you. I want to court you. Like, you don't just have to be courted as a femme. You didn't do it back. It's reciprocity at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, truthfully, I used to be kind of in that bucket where it's like, I'm the boy one, you know what I mean? Like, where I personally get happy to be able to provide.
For sure.
So, like, that to me is like big. But, like, to your point, I used to see things very like, the boy one, you know, quote unquote, the boy one does this, the girl one does that. But then I also was like, but if I'm being real with myself, I can't build things. Like I would so like I would rather pay someone to like
really
build the stuff.
Would you let your femme build stuff for you?
I have in the past.
Emasculated?
No, I have in the past. Yeah, like where she will build the stuff. And there's like a piece of me that's like slightly embarrassed that I can't do it. But then I was like, you know what? I just can't do it. You know? Yeah. But I used to be so embarrassed about that. But then I like was like, it's okay. Like back to the gender, like that notion. It's like we can both give 100%. But then I was like, you know what? Just be real. Like I
didn't build that. I can't build it. Yeah, you want to build that, Shadi?
I'll wash the dishes right now.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like at least taking ownership of something else that you can help with. I think is the importance in those type of relationships. Like maybe that's not my strength, but I'll go ahead and do something else. Like, we'll, like you said, we'll support each other in different ways. Yeah.
For in a relationship with like what you're saying, like doing things for each other, whereas like say the femme is building. So you said I'll do little other things like I'll clean the dishes, or like do you like to cook? Like say like a partnership where it's like I cook and you clean up, like that kind of stuff. Like is that the vibe, or it's like?
Yeah, good question. I mean, for me, I don't like cooking, but I don't mind washing the dishes that we use to eat the food done. So like that's usually kind of like what I tell my femme, you know, like in the past, where I would be like, okay, well, I'll wash the dishes. But I for me, I love when people cook for me. Like that's the most beautiful thing. Like in a I don't know, I just love food. So like when someone makes me my own food, I'm like, oh my god, like that's so awesome. Yeah. But I'm not like the type to be like, you know, scratching my nuts and being like, all right, babe, bring the beer over here. You know what I mean?
Dinner better be ready when I get home from work. Yeah.
You know,
because that's where you belong.
And you gotta wear something sexy, you know.
Wear the apron and nothing else.
Meanwhile, your ass is just playing video games in the back.
Got the switch. Aprons in there. But girl can do both.
Multi-talented over here.
I mean, I'm saying, God. And out here like nothing. On these streets like nothing. But yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. And like, I think it's fun too, especially whenever you have like little love languages like that are like acts of service, or doing things like you like to cook for someone, or you like to bake for someone. Like for me, I love baking for people and like doing like little treats and doing that kind of stuff. Or like I said with the plants, like I love to make propagations of other plants, and then I'll give it to like someone and be like, see, now you get to have like your own. Like, you know,
that's so cute.
So it's just like fun little things like that, where it's like, oh, I noticed you needed this, like when we were in your car, like I noticed you needed this, like so I got that for you, or something like that. And I think that's the thing I noticed about like in relationships, where it's like doing the little things, and you can see me being like a people watcher is like I'll look at people and be like, damn, they're not doing that anymore. Like, you know, or like the way that they're still doing that is crazy, and you can tell looking at them, they've been together 40 years, like, you know, it's crazy. So stuff like that. And I don't think it's gender role specific. I think it's just like, just do it.
Yeah, no, that's true. And you know, with you being so observant, you know, acts of service, is that something like maybe in previous relationships where someone's love language was very different? So sometimes you felt like I did all this for you and you didn't realize, because in their head they receive love differently. Has that ever been kind of like a problem in the past?
For sure. I've definitely had one where we didn't match up like that. And so it'd be in a situation where it's like, I'm doing this for you. And for her, it was kind of like she kind of became like expectant of it. She's like, that's just the type of person she is. Right. So it's like, well, no, I'm doing this to show you like that I care about you. And I care about this relationship that we're building. But it's just like, it's just what you do, you know? Kind of feeling like that resentment will start to come up, because it's like, I'm not doing this because I want you to give me praise, you know, give me a fucking cookie for it. Like, I just want you to acknowledge that I'm doing that, and to show me like in whatever way that you want to, that you're seeing that, and like I'm also matching you, but in my own way. So it's like, I might not be acts of service, but I'm, you know, words of affirmation. I'm going to tell you, I really appreciated you doing that, you know? Or like, hey, I've seen all the stuff that you've been doing lately, and I'm really thankful for it. Or like, I've seen how hard you've been working at work, and like, I'm really proud of you. Just like little things like that. Whatever your love language is, or just like quality time. I'm like, hey, like, why don't we just like spend the day together? We don't have to do anything. You know, it's just like little things to like, I'm big on reciprocity, you know? I don't know.
As you should. Yeah, for sure.
It's hard, like in this fucking world right now, with like people, like I said, being so nonchalant stuff.
No, it's so true. And I feel like, I don't know about you, but now, in like, as you enter new relationships, it's kind of like now you kind of have a syllabus of what you should be asking, right? Where you're like, yeah, what's your love language? Because that does make a difference, you know? Like, I think you now have, through your previous experience, you now have like a syllabus of what to look for in relationships. Like, okay, what is that person's love language? what is that person's, what are the other ones, like love language, attachment style. I just learned about that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's been educational.
What's yours?
Avoidant.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, avoidant. I give avoidant energy.
You do, yeah. But I can, one takes one to know one, you know? Like, I could recognize it. I think I'm recovering.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're still
working.
We're working on it.
There's old patterns, obviously, but we're working on it.
Hey, that's important. Yeah, exactly.
I think everyone's goal is to get to that secure attachment style. I also had a discourse with someone where it was very much like, I think that your attachment style can change based off your partner too.
Absolutely.
Like, I've been in situations where I was dating someone and like her attachment style very much caused me, like as an avoidant, to switch to like an anxious attachment style, which I had never really been. And I was like, that's weird. It's definitely like me in my last like situationship for sure. All of a sudden it was like, girl, stand up.
Yeah.
Go touch
who is that?
I will admit there's been times where it's like, I don't know if it's like I'm all in type of person. Okay. I wonder, I'm the type of person where it's like I only have so much energy or like of myself to give to other people that it's like I can't do like a roster. Like I say, let me work on the roster. I got a roster. But like in reality, I will ghost every person on the roster for one person. Wow. Just to give my energy to that one person. And I had been in a situation where I like fully like convinced myself and forced myself. I was like, girl, just get a roster. Just do what you need to do. And I'll admit, I had 7 people on the roster.
Damn. Is that how much you need to play basketball?
I don't fucking know.
See, I'm not that much of a mess to not know.
You're like, I don't. You're like the Phoenix Queer Hoopers. You're what? Like, sorry, kind of guy. But I don't know. There's 7, and I literally ghosted every single one of them for one person.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I fully went all in, situationship, full steam ahead.
Wow.
Yeah, turned around, bite me in the ass. But
so, like with that person that you're like, I'm gonna go all in for. What are the traits that you notice that like draw you in?
Definitely a sense of humor. I just want to laugh with somebody, you know? Right. So I'm just like, whenever we can just die of laughter. Like you said, like our humor matches up. Like, oh my God. I find it so fun and hot whenever someone can just like commit to the bit, make me giggle, make me laugh, you know, have fun. I think that's, especially just like with everything that goes on in life, you're like, damn, I just want to have fun. Right, you know, especially. And so definitely that's important. And then I definitely look at the people like around them because I think that tells like a big reflection, like, you know, your company, the company you keep, and like the type of relationships that they have is super important because I'm like, are you close to like certain people? And like, what does that say about you? Like, I want to know, and I'll ask about it and I'll look into it. It's crazy. I'll do my research. I'll find out about your Aunt Misty. But like, definitely like that's important because I am the type of person where it's like I very much value, like I'm family oriented and like friend oriented. Like my deep friendships are super important to me, relationship oriented. I want a partner who matches that too. Right. And then this might be so real to say on the podcast, but I had a conversation with my sister. She was asking me, you know, what I look for in a partner and stuff like that. And I was saying like, for me, I have such a very awkward type of parent relationship, obviously, because it's like in one aspect, I don't have a relationship at all. And then on the other one, it's like, it's a very weird relationship. So it's like in a partner, I will sometimes look and see, it's like, do you have a like a good relationship with your parents? Either we can bond on not, or I can find it like really cool that you have that and like see if like, would they feel like, how would they feel about me, you know, that kind of thing with your partner. Like, because I look at my siblings and I'm so happy for them that they have like partners who have parents that is like love them, you know, like my brother especially. So I'm just like, I love to see that. But would it be weird for me? I don't know, because I haven't been in that position yet.
I see. But that's cool that it's interesting that you're zooming out. It's not just that person and their vibe and their personality, but like what's around them. Like I didn't even think about that personally. I'm like, that's so true, because you are the company you keep. What is that quote? It's like, show me your friends and I'll tell you the type of person you are. Ooh, yeah, right? So that's a really good point. I didn't think about that. I think it's like, I very much am like, I love like the little details and the finer things, but then sometimes you have to and you're like, if I'm seeing this person, I see a lot of aspects and traits that I like and characteristics. Let me zoom out. Right. Picture, because there's certain things that are going to play big factors and big roles in
a future relationship if that were to happen, you know?
Right.
And so being able to have a relationship with the people who are most important to them, that's super important, because that's going to affect your relationship. Because I've seen it happen where it's like, clearly that didn't work, you know? So that's also something that I think about, where it's like, I don't think I could be like in a relationship with someone if like their family like didn't like me, like, you know, like that would be so difficult, like not just like for me as like not being liked, which would be very hard, but like also just being like feeling like you're failing your partner. Like I'm not matching up to what they want for you.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Just in those moments, whip out a poem, and then they're gonna be like, "Wow!" They're gonna be the snaps. Like, oh my god, I didn't know this side of her. Oh my god.
I want to laugh. You could like me if I was making you laugh.
And on that note of like making you laugh, let's say, okay, there's a person who's really good looking.
Right.
And they have a great personality and it's easy to talk to them, but they're not funny. They don't understand your humor.
Right.
Opposite side, they're not as conventionally attractive. Great, like you guys always laugh, like you guys are always in tears. But again, not as conventionally attractive as the other person.
For sure.
Which one are we going for?
Definitely the one that's like not as conventionally attractive.
Yeah.
It's all about the connection at the end of the day. Because like looks are one thing, but it's like, okay, but what if there's nothing there? Like you can look at a pretty picture, but like what else? You know? There need to be depth to it. It's not gonna go anywhere.
Right.
That's what I feel like, at least.
Okay, so on that with looks, in general though, do looks matter?
Ugh, that's such a hard thing to answer, because in a way you're like, I don't want to come off as superficial, but it's like obviously like looks matter. At the end of the day, that's what you go off initial instinct.
That's true.
You know, like your first initial attraction, you're like, ooh, I find that person attractive. I want to find out more. Like, you know, that's your first go-to. Are there times where it's like, oh, I'm just going to go out with them and see what happens? Because I am a yes girl. I am a do it for the plot girly. So sometimes I'll just go out.
Shout out to the podcast. We're living up to the name.
It's
for research.
Just subscribe. But yeah, just definitely being like, well, you should just go out and see, you know? And sometimes I've had relationships where it's like, even like, I won't say like unconventionally attractive. Like the last person that I dated, I thought that she was very beautiful, and everyone was like, she was stunning. Like, no, like everyone was like, she's a very beautiful girl. Like you look at her, she's a very beautiful girl. There are some things that like for me personally, it's like I wouldn't have initially been like, yeah, like, you know, but I was like, let's do it. Why not? Just say yeah. And there was like so much there that I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I did that. Like, you know, like stepping out my usual type, even though I say I don't have a type, like I don't, but like stepping out a normal like view of being like, I would never, I was like, you know what, say yes. And I did. And, you know, and we saw each other for X amount of months, like, you know what I mean? And it was a really like, I'm like lying. I was like, it was a really good relationship. No, it wasn't. But like, there was more than just like looking at someone and be like, oh, swipe no on the app. Like, you know, it's just like swipe yes and see what happens. And I did.
Wow.
And I ghosted everyone on the roster for her. So like, you know, it's crazy. Like you never really know. So I think looks play a big role, because like obviously you're going to pursue someone that you find attractive.
For sure.
But I think it's not like the most important thing. It's not like I need to be with the sexiest person alive to like be fulfilled. Like, no, like you can be the hottest person ever, and like it's like you don't make me laugh, you make me want to kill myself, like, you know. Like, oh, I don't know if it's gonna work. Like, you know, like, damn, I don't know if it's gonna work. Or like you can be the hottest person ever, but you're so toxic. Like, okay, like, damn, you're hot, but like
that's all it is.
Yeah, you're so toxic. Like, you know, which I have had a situation like that, you know. It's like just toxicity. Like, okay, what do looks mean if that's what your reality is, you know?
That's fair.
What about you?
That was really like deep and nice, and I do think looks matter.
Okay.
But to your point, they're not important. Like, it shouldn't be the main important piece that holds your relationship.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I find like people that are very attractive, they tend to have like the driest conversation with you. They take everything literally. They don't really get your vibe. Like for me, I'd rather be like a Pete Davidson. Like I'd rather like not be conventionally attractive, but like funny.
Okay, yeah.
And
I think
then being
humor
attractive.
is so attractive too.
Right.
Like, that makes you so attractive.
It's a form of like riz, like, right? You're just like, oh, that person's, oh, okay, I'm kind of feeling it, right?
100%, right?
So I personally would rather be funny than attractive.
Okay, based off of your experiences, where do you think you fall?
On what? On like
on
humor?
The spectrum of that. No, like on the spectrum. Do you think that people would find me more attractive and dry, or less conventionally attractive? I don't know. Or like, can you be both? Or you're like, I'm fucking sexy and the funniest person alive.
It's crazy. It's hard waking up being me. Back to that mirror again. Yeah. That's a good question, because I guess I never thought about it.
Yeah. Because who does?
Right. I guess I'm just kind of more of like, I think I am, like, I feel like I have a sense of humor. I'll say that. But then you find a lot of people who aren't on that same wavelength. So I guess it's kind of, what is it, subjective?
Yeah,
it's
for
like,
sure.
Someone could be like, that person's so fucking funny, and then you hear them and you're like, that's not funny. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess that's why it's hard to answer. But
for sure. Do you ever find yourself being like, this person's so attractive, and so then you overcompensate for other things and you talk them up a lot, and then so then when they meet people, or like say you bring yourself out of those rose-colored glasses, so to speak, and then you'll be like, damn, I really, like, they weren't funny, they weren't witty, they weren't smart, like they were just, you know.
There's been moments where I'm like, oh, that person's really attractive, and that's all I think of. But then like after week 2, I'm like, yeah, they're pretty dry, like the conversation's not there. So it never passes the 3-week mark in that situation where like they're attractive but they have a dry ass personality. What about you? Is it the same thing? Or if someone's attractive but they have like no personality, do you kind of entertain it, or you're just like, absolutely not, I don't even care to give you a week of my time?
I feel like I don't even know if I can. Like, I will, like, literally even, I'll expose myself. Like, I went on a date with this girl, stunning, so beautiful, like, absolutely gorgeous. The entire time, I literally was not there. I don't know where I was, but I wasn't there, because I was just like, damn, shawty, you are boring as hell. This sounds so bad, but no, it was just like, you're pretty to look at, but that's it. Yeah. And like, what, you just want me to look at you? Like, okay, I could do that on social media. Like, we don't need to be here. And I felt like an asshole, and I literally was like trying to tell myself, oh, it's because like you're so tired. It was the same weekend I had my house party, you know. So I was like, damn, I was exhausted from that. Like, that's why. But then I went on another date and I was locked the fuck in. Like, you know. So I was like, oh, it really was. Like, it just wasn't there, you know. How'd
you end that though? Did she reach out and like, oh, we should do this again, sort of thing? How did you answer that?
It was definitely like, oh yeah, we should definitely do it again. Also, I think it was situational, where it was like she had a lot of traveling coming up, and that kind of played into our benefit of like, we don't have to work and not really talk because you're gonna be traveling. Oh, okay. And it was very much like, oh yeah, we should hang out again when you come back. Bye. Because I felt so bad. I felt horrible. I was like, damn, what's wrong with you, bitch? Like, lock in, you know? But like, I literally was just like, anything was catching my attention, because like this conversation wasn't stimulating at all for me.
In that, do you feel like she was just talking so much about herself that she didn't even give room to ask you questions, or it was just like what she was saying about her interest just didn't pique your interest?
I think it was like a little bit of both. Like, it was very much like also one of those things where I was like, we're not compatible. Like, there's nothing there. So what's the point? I don't know. And I feel like I'm a very open person. I definitely will allow myself sometimes to, even like if something is like, I don't know, I'll even still like give it a little bit of time to just see, like, maybe it was like a one-off, or maybe something blah blah blah. But like sometimes it's like, girl, when you know, you know. And that was one of those situations where I was like, there's nothing in it, you know, this is not it. And so I don't know, it made me wonder, like, is there something wrong with me? Like, I don't know, but like, no, I think it's like okay. Yeah. Like, someone can be so attractive, but like, not it.
Yeah, for sure.
Snooze fest.
I mean,
respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully, of course. But no, I agree with you. I think there's been, just in general, like, I don't know if you noticed, but like sometimes with dates, like it might feel like 90-10, where like they're talking 90% of the time. They haven't asked you a single question, which is so insane. Yeah. Just say, what about you? Like, that's all it is. That's all a conversation is like, you answer, I hear your answer, and then you ask me. Right? Like, and that's insane how that basic skill, not again, not to be all like, you know, judgmental, but it's so true. Like, people don't know how to have a conversation anymore. It's just like one-sided or nothing.
You're like, I'm not interviewing you.
Right. You also need to like try to get to know me too. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be super personal. It could just be like, what do you think of this coffee? Like,
exactly. You know? Did you like it?
Exactly.
What flavor did you go with?
Yeah.
Like, just talk to someone.
It's easy, but it's like people make it so complicated, right? Or just one-sided.
Yeah. Right. There's so much of that now. Like, these days, like, it's crazy with that. And I think it goes along with like that whole nonchalance like aspect, or the like, don't let them know you care or whatever. Right. Where it's like, why not? Give a fuck.
Yeah. Like, I think that takes strength to be able to show that you care.
Exactly. Right. It's crazy. Okay. 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
First one, monogamy, more monogamous type. You
Yeah.
personally? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so seeking out potential connections and like dating in this fucking situationship world, how do you navigate it? How do you feel? Like, how does it feel for you as someone who's like more monogamous type?
It's tricky because like you get, as far as what I've seen, 2 types. You get one type that wants to go all in so quickly, and I'm like, what? You barely know my name, and if that, you know, like that's all you know. You'll have ones that want to move really quickly, and then you have other ones that it's like they want you, but they want you instantly. Like, not in the same way as the first one. It's more of like, oh, you didn't text back quickly. Like, is it because you don't like me? And it's like, it's not that deep.
Like, it's just like you're too insecure.
Right, a little bit. Or like you get the type that it's just one-sided, where it's like they're just talking. Like literally on the date, they're just talking about themselves. Not once do they ask a question.
For sure.
So I'm like, I can't be with someone like that, because that sucks on like date nights. You're just hearing that person talk.
Yeah.
Like, are we listening to a podcast? Like,
you know, like I would just listen to one.
Doing it for the plot.
I'm dead. No, but like for real, like you're like, I would just put one on. Like I wouldn't be here. I would be picking up the check right now.
Yeah. Like, it's like, well, what's the point of going on a date if you don't care to get to know the other person? Like that's the whole point, right? Sure. So I feel like a lot of it, it's like 90-10 in the conversation. And I'm like, I'm not going to keep asking questions, because like to your point, I'm not going to play interviewer. Like,
absolutely.
But it's just ridiculous at times where you're like, damn, like they did not even care to get to know me. It's just very like I could leave and they're still talking. I'm fucking dead. Go to the bathroom and they're just like still like talking, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't miss anything.
Yeah. I recently went on a date and I felt very much like that. I felt like I was just listening, which is like fine, but it was like, like the occasional like, what about you? And then I'd be like,
and it'll always be like offbeat. It'd be like, what about you? And then they're like drinking. No,
literally. They
were like, waiter, where's the check? Yeah, that's true. Where you're just like, why am I here?
No, literally.
I like dissociate completely. I'm not even in tune with what they're saying. I'm like thinking about like my week. Like, what am I gonna have for dinner? Or I think of myself like, if I was on a reality show, what would it be?
Literally.
Right.
What's hashtagging and trending right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm a meme.
Yeah. And then you're like, what meme would I be?
Exactly. No, me too. 100%.
Yeah. So like that's what's going on in my head. And then you gotta throw the whole, oh shit, that's crazy.
Oh my God,
like, oh, that's crazy.
Wait, can you tell me more?
Yeah, shit, that's crazy. And then you already have like this whole backstory.
100%. I'm like working
on this novel, that you're writing. Yeah.
So. I'm like, this is gonna be a very vital chapter, and I can't wait to change everything.
So maybe that's how you can use those bad dates.
Exactly. Like, it's research.
Okay.
Because you're wondering, me dating is research at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Carrie Bradshaw, right?
Whatever. Whatever.
It's all shy.
It's crazy. I'm just in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I can be messy in my 30s. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, honestly.
Period. Are you the type of person where you're like very interactive dates? Do you want to do something and like get to know someone through that activity? Or like, are you the type of person where it's the first one, casual, no pressure, we're going to meet up, get a drink, get coffee, talk, get to know? Or like, do you want to do something actively?
That's a good question. Typically, I would say the low-key one, right? Because that's how you really get to know someone. Because otherwise, you go to the movie, what did you learn about that person? I initially like more of the low-key ones.
Yeah.
But it depends on their personality. If they're super hyperactive, maybe we should be doing something.
For sure, right? Yeah.
But at the same time, how am I going to get to know that person if we're throwing axes? Like, am I ducking them as I'm asking? Like,
you're like, they're throwing it at me, told a lot about them. Like, they were actively throwing axes at my head and I had to dodge them.
Right.
I learned a lot.
Exactly. So maybe not date that type of person.
Maybe.
Right. Yeah. Are you the same way, though? Do you prefer it more low-key so you can get to know the person? Or does it just really depend on personality?
It depends on the personality type. It definitely depends on how much we've talked prior to.
Oh, that's a good point.
If I learn a little bit more like about them prior to going out, then like, yeah, I'm open to doing something. Also, it's very hard right now with the whole casual, no pressure aspect of it, of like going out on a first date and it being like, this is very, very date, or this is very, very much hang out. Like not knowing the difference, because you're like, clearly we met on a dating app, but like also I'm getting such platonic vibes, like, you know, like.
So what does that look like to you when you say platonic vibes?
It's like
dude, excessive use of dude, or what?
I don't know, it's just one of those situations where it's just like we're getting on so well, but there's no like, you know, like nothing, like it's just very platonic, I guess. And it's just like, oh yeah, I'd love to hang out with them again, but like my girly pop, like as a friend, like, you know, I didn't feel like an excessive need to like touch them. Like I want to reach out and touch them. Like I'm feeling like attracted to them and I want to, you know, do something like a little, like those little things, you know?
Right.
And I think that's hard sometimes with like you're going out with someone and you're like, well, do I touch them? Do I not? Like you're in your head, but like also you're trying to be present in the date. You're trying to figure it out. Is it friend vibes? Is it not? I think too that's like sometimes I notice if, for example, going out with like a femme presenting person and me, a femme presenting person, it's like, are we besties right now? You know? Like I don't really know. Like,
well, what about with the masks?
With the mask, I'm like, this better be a fucking date.
Yeah,
I definitely feel like in that situation, I want to suss out a vibe. I do like that they'll like maybe do something like touch my leg, touch my thigh, whatever. Hold the door open, put your hand on the small of my back.
When you did
like,
that with your hand, I thought you meant like
smack my
your ass. Yeah,
just fucking smack my ass.
Day one,
like why does no one smack your ass anymore? I'm just a girl standing here asking you to smack my ass.
Right? Why can't we greet like that?
No,
anymore?
literally, like let's just smack our asses.
We don't even need to say hello.
Just smack it.
Smack it, and as we're talking, left, right, left cheek, right cheek.
Okay.
And we can create like a code on that.
Play fucking bongos on that ass.
I think we should be. We should be little musicians with.
I literally agree with our ass cheeks, personally.
Yeah.
Anyways, they don't have to smack my ass.
But would it be preferred date one?
Yes, please.
See, and that's interesting. Before we say hi,
before you even say your name,
slap your ass.
Slap it.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna be like, that's the love of my life. No, I'm fucking kidding. Damn, that would be so mortifying. I don't know if I could recover.
No, I think change your name.
Yeah,
like,
probably
you would have to
like move for sure.
Right. Yeah, I would probably do the same thing too.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I'm curious as a mask. Is there anything that a mask could do that's like feminine that you would be like, that's not attractive? Or you're kind of like, who cares?
I think I'm more, who cares? I definitely think, especially because there's so much like erasure with masks having to like play into those gender stereotypes. But it's like at the end of the day, like you are who you are, you know? And like if you, especially like too, like if you want to commit to the bed, want to be one of the girly pops, like that's funny. That's fun. Why not? I love the stereotype with the whole like golden retriever mask with like the black cat femme. Like that's so real. Like, you know? And so like, I don't know if there's anything that could like ick me out in the way of like a mask acting feminine more than like traditional or whatever. Like, no, do you?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
For sure.
I used to think, you can't, like, for example, the whole building thing. I was like, I don't like building things.
Yeah.
Like that. But I'd be too shy to admit it.
Okay.
You know, like I'd be like really embarrassed about it. But I'm like, to your point, like maybe that's not your strength. But maybe focus on something else that you can contribute to that relationship.
Exactly.
Right. So
exactly.
Yeah, like that's always an interesting thing. Like for me, I say queer as opposed to like, I'll be honest, and maybe this is problematic. For the longest time, I didn't like the word lesbian. But also, to be fair, there's like another layer of like being a trans mask.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is like completely its own category.
Absolutely.
But I like to just say like queer because it's still like highlighting that the gayness, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
can you talk a little bit more about like your journey with like your sexuality and your orientation?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's so interesting to see how the concept of like transgender is now versus when I was a kid.
Yeah, for sure.
Super non-existent. I remember watching She's the Man, and I was like, that's exactly like she gets it. But then like it didn't register like, oh no, she still likes guys and is doing this as like a way to be like her brother, but not because she sees herself as a boy. Yeah. So that didn't register to me. I just was like, oh, that's cool. Like I want to do that. I want to go to a school and like pretend to be a guy. That's why that was like one of my favorite movies. It's still one of my favorite Amanda Bynes movies. It's an amazing film. I think it took a long time for me to actually know what that is. Yeah. Because it wasn't something people talked about. People were just either gay or lesbian. Yeah. And those weren't even words that we heard a lot as kids. Yeah. So you're just like, oh, what does that mean? And I think it was until college where I came across like this video where this guy's talking about being assigned female at birth and then transitioning, and I was like, oh shit, like that's how I feel. Like that's like, wow, it's exactly how I feel. Like he was just talking about his experience thinking first he was at the time a lesbian, but then it was like I didn't feel connected to that word, and that's how I always felt. I was like, yeah, they get it. Like I do like women, but I don't see myself as a lesbian. So yeah.
So you're saying like transmasculine, eventually transitioning? Question mark. Yeah. You know, still attracted to women, obviously. A straight trans man is how you'd identify? Or would you still like be under that queer umbrella? Like how would you?
Yeah, someone asked me that the other day and I was like, wow, like I never thought about that. But I don't think I would see myself as a straight man because I just feel like there's some beauty of that feminine side of me that I'm trying to like love a little bit more.
For sure.
So I would still see myself as queer. Okay. That just happens to be like trans mask.
For sure. How's that experience been within your personal life and your family dynamic? If you want to share it. Don't feel pressured to.
I just feel like it's still a foreign concept to them, to like make a long story short. But you just kind of come to that realization of like, it's your body, it's your life, do what makes you happy. I know that sounds like cheesy, but it's so true. Like you have to sometimes prioritize
absolutely
yourself over that, and that's hard because I am very close to my family. But I think that's what makes having spaces like how we are part of that group where there are other trans folks, I mean, that are part of that group. You feel connected and someone understands to a degree. Obviously they're a different type of trans, but like still there's some commonality between the two.
Have you been able to have conversations with some of them about it, your journey?
Not in our group, but I have been part of like groups that are specific to trans folks.
Okay, that's cool.
And the interesting part is a lot of them were like trans women.
Okay.
So they were assigned male at birth and then transitioned to females, and it's like they deal with so much crap.
Yeah. Like
my heart really does go out. I feel like they do have it a lot harder than like us transitioning to men, right? Because like people just see them more in a, how do I put it? Like they just have a really negative perspective.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart to hear a lot of their stories. That's why I like to diversify the people I hang out with. Now, like, I've been hanging out with more, like, lesbians. And even that's been interesting, to, like, hang out with a bunch of lesbians. But you guys have been really accepting. And, like, I just remember when you guys asked me about my pronouns, like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is awesome. It's a very inclusive space, so.
That's amazing. And I think it's very courageous to do that. It's scary as hell. But it's like, I admire you for doing that, because it's like it takes so much to become your most authentic self, but whenever it's like that next level too, where it's like, this is some serious shit that you're gonna commit to, you know?
Yeah.
So like, props to you. That's courageous as fuck. Like, you know what I mean?
I appreciate that. Yeah, it is the scary part is like, yeah, you got to be all in to a degree.
For sure.
And you don't know how it's going to affect your body. You don't know how it's, because everyone's transition is different. Yeah. Right. So for me, I used to be like, I hope I pass when I transition. Like I would want people to be like shocked that it's like, oh, but then I'm also like, no, like I shouldn't have that expectation. Like we should, at least for me, I feel like you should be proud of having part of your life as a female, because there are some beautiful things about that. You can empathize with your girlfriend of like, you know, certain things biologically that a straight cis man wouldn't understand.
Exactly. You understand that on a different level.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. So I see that kind of as a superpower when I used to see it as like a, damn, like I have to deal with that. But then it's like, no, like that's how you can literally connect with other women, right? Absolutely. It's like, I get that. And so trying to not be as scared to kind of tap into that feminine side of myself, because I used to like not want anything to do with it.
Absolutely. I think that shows a lot of like inner work that you've done too, to be able to like accept arts. I think that's so fucking dope.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's took time. That's for sure. Yeah, it definitely took time.
I'm just like taking it in.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's not. I really like, no, that's amazing. And I think it's crazy that that's like even like a deeper depth and like different waters to navigate on top of just the overall one, you know? So wow. Yeah, it's definitely it's not easy, you know, because like a lot of times people do just see you as a lesbian and you're like, that's not it, right? Sure. But like at the end of the day, it's how you view yourself. And I think that's something that I had to kind of come into the conclusion with, because I do get misgendered a lot. Like you know, people will say like she or her, and I'm like, but then I'm like, don't give that too much power. Like why am I going to be fighting this Circle K clerk? Like how is he going to know? I'm going to have those pins, they, them, and they, you know what I mean? Like let's not do the most. Like give people grace. Sometimes they're not doing it on purpose, but being in spaces where they do respect your pronouns is what makes that difference. For sure. Right? That's what I've enjoyed, being part of more like queer spaces. For sure. Yeah. I think it's amazing, especially like here, like traditionally people would look at us obviously as being like an ex-red state. I will say that our community that we're building is like really good. Like for the most part, like within the neighborhood or within like Roosevelt or Melrose and just like the different queer communities and spaces that we're building, I've never felt like more like I could take a breath and be myself, right? You know, and it's so refreshing. And I feel like right now who I am, I'm living like my most authentic self, and it feels so good, and it feels really fun to just like, I don't know, just like live this little life, or whatever. Yeah, like celebrate your queerness, because like for so long we were in the closet. So it's like, of course we're going to be loud and proud, because for so long we didn't have that voice, we didn't have that celebration. Alrighty, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you for joining me, Winter.
Young Win, Winter.Rosay on Instagram.
Plug everything. We'll have all your socials
Certified
down
mask,
below.
5'4". I got heart though.
DMs are open.
They're open.
Aye.
Thank you for having me, Dayna.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure you guys keep listening to the podcast and check out Winter's social media. I'll have it linked in the show notes. With that being said, if you liked listening, make sure that you subscribe to my podcast and tune in weekly because I'm gay, I'm hot, and if there's one thing about me, I'm gonna stir the plot.
Hey.
Thank you for joining me, Winter. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
And would you ever be able to recover after that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I would need to seek like 3 professional therapists' opinion on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the psych ward?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It'd be really scary.
For sure.